What's happening? What is popping? What is happening, man? How y'all doing this evening, man? First and foremost, man, I want to give a big shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a hell of a season they had. Man, they did great tonight. Sorry they couldn't get further than what they have gotten. Right now, I want to welcome everybody to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Man, this is a special edition of Real Talk Podcast, and definitely we're gonna get into some juicy conversation this evening. I have opened up the chat as well as I've opened up the invitation to join me and give me your point of view as to the subject that we're going to talk about tonight. And tonight, we're going to be discussing the state of Florida, and we're going to be discussing nobody other than Ron DeSantis. So tonight, we're going to talk about a donkey and a jackass all in one, as we know they're both the same, but we're going to make them one of each, and we're going to talk about this jackass we have as a governor, Ron DeSantis. Now, what we're going to be discussing is his latest act of racism that a lot of you here in Florida may have missed. You may have not paid attention to it. So we definitely hope that you guys will jump in on this subject, jump in on this topic. We're going to discuss it. We want you guys' input on it. I want to hear what you guys got to say. So I'm calling Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County. I am calling Orange County, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County. I'm calling everybody. Duval, where you at? Where you at? Stand up. Come on in this thing, man. St. Johns County, wherever you at. We definitely need you guys here on this subject matter at hand. So a lot of you might be wondering what I'm talking about. Charles, what are you talking about? He's a racist and all this here, and what has he done this time? Well, guys, I don't know if you guys know about it, but Governor Santos has decided that he doesn't want Black history or African American history to be taught in high schools anymore. And I want you guys I just want you guys to understand what message this man has sent to the Florida people, the African Americans of the state, especially because I'm gonna point the finger tonight. I'm gonna blame y'all as the residents, the African American residents of this bullshit ass state, for this man being back in office. And before I start to point fingers and I start to blame y'all ass for him being back in office, I want y'all to listen to a couple of people, and don't go nowhere. Please share this live. Invite people to it, because this shit is serious. If you don't think it's serious, I want you guys to listen to everything, and I want you guys to formulate your own opinions, because I don't want you to think that I'm just being an asshole towards Ron DeSantis, and I would not call this jackass governor, because he shouldn't even be in office. But once again, thanks to some of you, the majority of you, he is in office. But let's just listen to some of what we're talking about. Once again, this is about Governor DeSantis saying that it is not necessary or a waste of time, pretty much, to be teaching African American history in high school anymore. So let's just listen to some people. We're gonna listen to a couple of individuals. We're gonna listen to a lot of stuff, guys. I want you guys to please take heed to this stuff. I'm gonna read some stuff to you guys as well. But please, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to Charles Real Talk Podcast, so you don't miss any of this here. You can also catch me on iHeartRadio as well. Same title, Charles Real Talk Podcast. But we're gonna jump to some of these subjects right now, or some of these topics right now. We're gonna let you guys listen to some of these people. And I want you guys to listen closely to what these people are saying. This is some real shit. And again, I'm pointing the fingers at you, Black individuals, Black residents of the state of Florida. Let's get into this. First person, man, this young lady from TikTok. This is what she had to say about Governor DeSantis and African American lessons in school. Let's listen.
Let me just save you some suspense. If you think teaching AP Black history has no educational value, yes, you are a racist, especially since Florida schools will still be teaching AP European history, AP Spanish, AP Japanese, AP Italian. And this during Martin Luther King Jr. week, when these same right-wing racist scumbags had the audacity to try and co-opt King's legacy by saying he would be a Republican, seizing on the one line of the one speech that they know with Dr. King to try and make the case that Dr. King would be some sort of colorblind, anti-woke Republican. Y'all motherfuckers claim to love Martin Luther King. You don't think there's an entire section on Martin Luther King in this course? An entire chapter, at least? You love Martin Luther King, but you don't think teaching Martin Luther King has any educational value. By the way, you don't have to take AP courses. You fuckers realize that, right? Racists need not enroll their kids in this class.
So, y'all heard what he said. Pretty much in a nutshell, your kids don't have to take the AP class. But this is not about the kids having to take the AP class. This is about Governor DeSantis saying that it is not, it is racist to teach this, and it's a lack. It's a lack of value in teaching African American history in schools in Florida. Mind you, 16 other states are currently doing this course in their states for testing, but DeSantis feel like it's a waste of time, and he feel like it's racist. But how can you say something is racist when you didn't ban European history, you didn't ban Latino history, you didn't ban Indian history, or I mean, you didn't ban anything but African American history here in the state of Florida. So I want to hear what some of you got to say. Mind you that the chat is open. You're more than welcome to drop your comments down below. I would definitely see them. Also, I have placed the invite to the chat, the podcast as well is also up if you want to join the podcast and give me your opinion on this subject matter. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to some more people, because we got a lot of people that made a lot of comments, and I want you guys to hear all these comments. So to me, this is one of the good ones too. This is from one of the young ladies on The View, and this is what she had to say. Check this out.
That's right. And I think we have to call it exactly what it is. This is cultural erasure. We've seen it happen before. When black people were brought from Africa over here, forced to be here, they erased our culture from us. They took our religion away. They took our names away. They took our heritage, everything that related us to Africa. They took it away and replaced it with Western culture. That's what you're doing right now in education. When you look at the AP classes that are taught right now in the state of Florida, you have Chinese language and culture, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Latin, and Spanish. But you can't have African American studies. I have a huge problem with this. And this is a course that was created and cultivated with certain expertise and experience. Henry Louis Gates Jr. was a part of this. This isn't just some thing that they threw together at the last minute. It is put together to teach you about us and who we are through arts and literature, as you were saying, science, civil rights, political science, geography. There's so much more to it. And if every other culture can be taught except for black culture, that's racist.
That's right.
Yeah, and
She has a point. She has a fucking valid point. If every other culture can be taught in school in the state of Florida, why can't African American history be taught here as well? I'll tell you why. Because nothing has changed with Ron DeSantis. This pig has been a racist from the get-go. You see, you guys was too blind to see it, because you had they blinded you with all this other BS So you couldn't see the real focus point on getting his ass out of office. You see, he shouldn't have been in office the first time, and we let him get away. We didn't go out and vote. And guys, I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. I am really focusing on African Americans right now in the state of Florida because we allowed this asshole into office. We let him in. We opened the door for him because we was too lazy to get up and go out and vote. We was too lazy to realize our vote mattered. We was too lazy to ask for a ride to the poll. We were too lazy to turn in an absentee ballot. Whatever the case may be, we didn't do our part in keeping this racist pig out of office. He showed you his racist in his first term. Now you let him right back in. Now I understand, okay, you guys wasn't sure who to vote for. It came down to a case of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It's the devil that you see and the devil that you don't. Okay, well, let's break this scenario down. Ron DeSantis has showed you for his first term that he is a devil, he is a fucking racist, and he don't give a fuck about black people. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a fuck about education in the state of Florida, or he wouldn't have been denying teachers certain opportunities to do certain things in school. He wouldn't have been laying off teachers. He wouldn't have been doing the shit he's been doing from his first term. We let him get by with that. You guys knew he did it, but you still overlooked it. You still brushed it to the back of your mind. You didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So then, now he's back in office again with the same shit, the same mentality. He's showing you what he is. He's showing you what he is. And the sad part about this motherfucker might be your next president. Either he hasn't determined if he's going to run yet or not, but he might be. But let's talk about the other devil. You know what I'm saying? That I know you guys wasn't sure if you wanted to vote for. Again, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I know that Charlie Crist was once a Republican. He was the governor. He was this, he was that. Now he's a Democrat. Okay, that's a devil that you don't see. Well, which one do you want in office? The devil that you see or the devil you don't see? The devil that you see already gave you his motherfucking photograph and what he does. He already painted his portrait for you. You know what I'm saying? If a person showed you what they are, you better believe him. He already showed you. But no, y'all didn't give a fuck, did you? Did you? Once again, you want to leave comments, please leave your comments down below, man. If you want to join the chat, please click on the spot on Facebook. I left there for you guys to join the chat. You're more than welcome to come into the chat and join. So you don't have to worry about it. I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. Let's move on, man, because we have a lot of shit to cover on this topic right here. Once again, Governor Ron DeSantis has rejected the AP African American Study curriculum for students in the state, claiming that it lacks educational value. You fucking racist. You fucking racist. That's what he is. He's telling you what he is. He's telling you what he is. If you don't want to join the chat, people, you can reach me at 904-674-7419, 904-674-7419. You can call in with your comment, and we'll definitely play it on air as well. So let's keep that in mind. You're more than welcome to do that if you want to call in and leave a comment as well. But we're gonna check out some more of some folks feeling towards Ron DeSantis and what he has done for us. This curriculum has been concerned here in the state of Florida. Let's check out. This is a special one right here. I really love this one right here. But I understand what he is saying. But let's see what you guys think on this subject, on this topic from Uncle Luke. This is what Uncle Luke had to say.
Let me say this, and I want y'all to follow me real close. I want to thank Ron DeSantis. I know y'all gonna think that's crazy, but I want to thank him right now for his attack on the teaching of Black history in our schools. That says to us, as Black African American parents, include myself, we need to be the ones teaching Black history to our kids. So I want to thank you, Ron. because now I'm more focused than ever. I'm going to be teaching my son about the Black Panthers, H. Rap Brown, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan. I'm going to be teaching him about all these different historical people that were so impactful to us as African Americans who fought the struggle. Harriet Tubman, the real story about Harriet Tubman. And when they were African American slaves that went back and told their slave owners, and Harriet Tubman killed them. You don't see that in the narrative that others would try and do the teaching. So I'm happy. I'm happy that it ain't just the teachings of one part of Martin Luther King. So I encourage every other African American parent in the state of Florida, don't get mad at this man. Be happy. Rejoice at this time, because now it is up to us to teach our kids African American history, and not that what they teach in schools, which is the watered down BS version of it all. So rejoice this morning, people of Florida. I holla.
Now, I have mixed feelings about what Uncle Luke just said, and I love and respect Luke Skywalker. He is definitely a true pioneer of hip hop music. I would love and respect him for forever. I agree with him on teaching African American history, African American values to our children ourselves. I agree with that. We should. But I feel we should be mad at Governor DeSantis because this asshole did not restrict any other any other history teachings from school curriculums. He to me, DeSantis blatantly slapped us as African Americans here in Florida in the mouth. He basically slapped us in the mouth. He basically said our kids don't mean shit. He basically said our education don't mean shit. He basically said our history don't mean shit. But the funny thing about that is, and you guys are going to trip about this because I'm going to let you hear some shit that's going to blow your mind, because he's a hypocrite. He's always been one. He hasn't changed. A leopard doesn't change his fucking stripes. When y'all gonna understand that? A leopard doesn't change his stripes. You see, we could have got rid of this man. We could have got rid of him, probably even destroyed his political aspirations of becoming president, because he wanted to be the next president. He wanted to be president of the United States. He does. But if he is president and he can do this now here in the state of Florida, what the fuck were you trying to do on a national stage, on the entire country stage? What would he do? Bring back slavery? What would he do? I mean, he can't be trusted. He's a Trump supporter. No matter how mad him and Trump are at each other right now, they still kiss each other behind. They still put their tongue in each other's ass. So they still friends. So they still can't be trusted. Only thing I can see is Trump winning the Republican nomination and bringing DeSantis on as his running mate. Did any of y'all think of that shit? No, Charles, we ain't think of that. We ain't think of that, Charles. We ain't see that. Yeah. If Donald, red face, carrot face, bumpy face, bullshit ass Trump win the Republican nomination, I don't want y'all to be surprised is Ron DeSantis is his running mate. Now you got a motherfucker who don't care about black people getting killed with a motherfucker who don't care about black people education. So now what you gonna do? Because, well, let me tell you something. If that shit happens, oh, y'all think we got it fucked up now in the state of Florida. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. See, y'all sleeping on what's the real factor here. The real factor here is no matter what you fucking think, your vote matters. You got to get out and vote. Charlie Crist couldn't be trusted. We know that. We don't know what kind of views he was going to have if he got it off. We know what he preached, what he said, all this shit right here. But he was on the Democratic side. Maybe we could have just, but no. We so busy worrying about what the fuck they doing in Georgia that we let this motherfucker creep his ass right back in office for a second term. Low turnout in Duval County. Low turnout in Dade County. Low turnout in Hillsborough County. Now, I'm talking about for his African-American voting. Do you guys realize that the state of Florida, which was kind of like mixed with red and blue, is totally red now? We are bloodshot fucking red. The Republicans run everything, even the educational system. Even the educational system, folks. So I want y'all to hear this shit, though, because this is going to blow your mind. Because, see, this is only the part that we're discussing him saying that this curriculum lacks value. But listen to what this young lady has to say. This is going to really, really throw you for a loop. I believe this is her. Let me make sure this is her. Listen to her. I want y'all to listen to her real close now.
Morning. Ron DeSantis, to the front of the class, please. So Ron DeSantis decided that he is going to launch a Black History Month student and educator contest that involves art and essay writing. The art contest is for kids K through 3, while the essay is for kids 4 through 12. Sounds good, right? But as of yesterday, he decided to say that the AP African American Studies program lacks educational value because it goes against the Stop Woke Act, which he said is inexplicably contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value because it also falls allegedly underneath the critical race theory that is banned in classrooms K through 12. You also ban anything that deals with race relations or diversity in the workplace as well as the school. So how is it that you care about Black history so much? If you are looking for educational books on Black American history, please go to colorfulstory.com. Underneath additional resources, click books. There you will see the Black History 365 series, where there is a kindergarten collection, an elementary, middle school, and high school collection. Let's make sure that we're accurately teaching our kids about Black American history, shall we?
On one hand, this fake motherfucker want to hold an essay competition on Black history. Then on the other hand, you want to say teaching Black history in schools, in high schools, is racist. Well, I think teaching about the cotton gin is racist. I think teaching about these fake ass presidents, Washington, Lincoln, all these motherfuckers that own slaves, teaching about them is racist. But you ain't ban none of that shit though. You ain't once say, okay, we're gonna take it out of the schools too. Let's just do away with all history. Let's do away with all history because I strongly believe that if you're gonna take away one, you need to get rid of all of them. But once again, dog, my focus point, people, is that You, as African American people here in the state of Florida, dropped the ball on this one. This racist ass motherfucker shouldn't be in office. But he's in office. And you got to deal with him. And you better hope he become vice president. With that being said, man, I got a couple of more people that, man, I want you guys to listen to, because I want you to hear from them, not from me. Because I don't want you to think it's just me thinking this. This shit is nationwide. There are millions of people talking about this subject. And this subject is really, really touchy. It's really, really real. And it's something that we in the state of Florida need to do something about. With that being said, man, let's check out this news report on this subject. It's a couple of minutes long, so please bear with me. Listen to it closely, because there's a professor from FAMU who also gave a comment. I actually shortened it some, so don't take up the whole time. But check it out. Let me know what you think.
Of Florida law and significantly lacks educational value. That's how the administration of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis describes a new college-level course for high school students on African American studies. It's already being taught in 60 high schools nationwide as a first test. The curriculum was in development for a decade. Endorsing the class, the chair of Howard University's history department said the course presents, quote, a solid understanding of how African Americans have shaped America, its history, laws, institutions, culture, and arts, and even the current practice of American democracy, which sharpens all knowledge about our nation. But according to Ron DeSantis and his State Department of Education, a course cultivated for 10 years by scholars and experts is neither lawful nor historically accurate. So you might ask yourself what specifically is wrong with the AP African American Studies class, according to Ron DeSantis and his administration, which would be a fair question. The Associated Press reports, quote, Florida education officials did not specify exactly what content the state found objectionable. Joining us now, Reginald Ellis, an associate professor of history and African American studies at Florida A&M University, which is one of the state's historically black colleges and universities. Professor Ellis, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
You've had a chance to look into this a little bit. Can you glean what the problem is, what the illegal part of this course is? I mean, we can get into it in a second about educational value, but incompatible with the state's whatever rules or methodology. What are they talking about?
When it first came out, I spoke with some of my colleagues, and we were very surprised and unfortunately, we were disappointed to hear that language coming from the Florida Department of Education via the governor. We were very excited 2 years ago when College Board took on this great task of creating African American Studies AP curriculum. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I was excited that 12 years from now she would have the opportunity to take the African American Studies AP course as credit for college. So no, we were very disappointed and shocked that it would at this point be blocked.
And just to be clear, because there are all sorts of people in this country very excited about CRT, critical race theory, and how it's being taught to little children. That's not true. This is an actually fully developed course about African American history, designed for the college level, but to be taught to high school students who are high achieving students, right? Like, this is not a random indoctrination course. This was a very deliberate, high level course that students would use as part of their application to colleges.
For sure, it's the same as you would have a AP U.S. history, AP world history, AP chemistry, and psychology. And so if you think about it, for the most part, many students don't have an opportunity to take African American history until they go to college. And so when you think about a kid like myself from a rural Southwest Georgia town in Wiggum, Georgia, I wasn't really exposed to African American history until my first year at Florida A&M University. Came to Florida A&M University as a occupational therapy major. In my first introduction to African American history class, I changed my major that night.
Wow.
Because I fell in love with history, and I fell in love with myself, and I understood for the first time in my life the role that Black people, diasporically speaking, played in the development of the world, but also played in the development of this American experience, this American democracy. So imagine how impactful this African American history AP course will be for hundreds of millions of individuals, not just Black people, not just Black kids, but Americans throughout, and how that will impact the further development of America.
So a remarkable story. Your own story about how you.
So, as y'all heard, this thing has been in play for a long time. It's been in play for many years to make this curriculum. And it's sad that our governor and our politicians, our Republican politicians, has decided that this curriculum lacks value. And because of this Stop Woke Act, which Governor Santos signed into law last year, it restricts certain racial-based analysis and conversations. Well, Governor DeSantis, he must be confused about something, because how is teaching African American history racist? It's history. Just like their normal American history that they have today. When they talk about their presidents, when they talk about Congress, when they talk about the Constitution and all the laws put into to act, what's the difference? That's racist. Should it not be taught in school? I don't know where we're going to go from here. I don't know how this thing is going to play out. I truly hope that we as African Americans realize what we are facing, and that we take a stand and realize that certain times we have to gamble with what we don't know compared to what we know. Meaning, we can't let people like Governor DeSantis run this state. We can't let the Republicans continue to turn this state back into Jim Crow, because to me, that's what they're trying to do. To me, I can see a lot of shit that's coming on the forefront that we as African Americans are not going to be happy about. And it's sad, because I feel like we have so much more to offer this state, and we are just letting it get away from us. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys up and continue to talk about this. I want you guys' comments. I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this subject. There's a lot more people who have more comments on this matter, and I'm going to play a couple of more quick quick messages from people, for you guys can see just how upset and people are over this whole situation. Here's someone that's speaking about it.
That's right. And I think we have to.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
There was a lot of talk about critical race theory, and that was a focus of a target in a lot of states by Republicans. This is African American studies, which is different. A Democratic Florida state senator tweeted that Florida currently has AP classes for European history, Japanese language and culture, German language and culture, Italian language and culture, as well as Spanish language and culture, adding, quote, it's crazy how AP African American studies made the chopping block in Florida. To that, what do you say?
Yeah, so Anderson and to Bakari as well. Bakari, I did, believe it or not, read the 82-page syllabus today, which I could send to you. And the letter that was sent to the AP board says, listen, we dismiss this as presented. In the future, if the college board would like to work with us on something that would meet our criteria, we'd be happy to consider it again. And from what I was told, Anderson and Bakari, this was declined because it sought to teach progressive doctrines such as intersectionality and critical race theory, which are violative of April 2022 law that Governor DeSantis sent, this anti-woke act. I'm not, I'm simply telling you that I've not delved in and read every chapter of the syllabus, but I glanced through it. It's pretty dense. And I'm telling you what the reason was, that the state of Florida, Governor DeSantis said that they believe in education and not indoctrination.
Bakari, what do you make of that?
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I have a great deal of respect for David Irvin, but we just got done celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday, and you have individuals who say these quotes of, the I Have a Dream speech, etc. These famous quotes by King, but they don't even know who he was because we don't teach the history correctly. People whitewash his legacy. They don't talk about the fact that he was a rabid revolutionary. They don't talk about the fact that he was talking about wages, improving the plight of Black folk day in and day out. And I think that the fact that we refuse to teach the accurate history of this country, we refuse to talk about April 4th, 1968, where Dr. King was assassinated, February 8th, 68, the Orangeburg Massacre. We refuse to talk about June of that year where RFK was shot, or the fact that you have all of these Black soldiers coming home from a war in Vietnam being treated like second-class citizens. That's not, something that is a fairy tale. That is a history of who we are. And Ron DeSantis and this administration in Florida are completely ignorant to that fact. Everything we talk about our history and who we are is not critical race theory. My being is not critical race theory. It's American history. Wrap your heads around that. If you're ashamed of it, that's on you. But let's at least educate the youth the correct way about what our history is.
Bakari, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just giving you the reasonings that were put forth by the governor's office, and says in the letter saying, as presented, we find this AP course doesn't pass our muster. Please come back with us with another course, or if you'd like to work with us, we're willing to do that. I'm not sure they're dismissing it out of hand, saying we're not going to do it at all.
There you have it, folks. Another perfectly explained reason as to why Governor Santos' dismissal of this AP course is so critical. He lacks African American history. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about it. His people are not American descent anyway. Though he was born here, his people aren't. But I'm disappointed in the fact that we don't get out and vote as we should. And hopefully this is an eye-opener. Hopefully this will wake you up and realize that your vote counts. Hopefully that you will understand that we have to deal with the devil that we don't know compared to the devil that we know. I'm disappointed. I will continue and I will stress to my son's mother that we would teach him what is real about African American history, not what's in their curriculum books, the fake watered down version of it. As the brother was just saying, we need to talk about the assassination of Dr. King. We need to talk about the assassination of Malcolm X. We need to talk about Marcus Garvey, Nat Turner, Rosa Parks, Sigourney Truth. We need to talk about these people because these people set forth the current actions that we are currently experiencing or living in. And our kids should know about these people. And that's a problem with this generation. They don't know the history of true legendary warriors. They don't. Like Uncle Luke said with Harriet Tubman. She was a true revolutionizer. She did not play when it came to her Underground Railroad. Yes, it is true. If fake slaves, let me rephrase that. If slaves who were faking like they wanted to be free ran back and told their masters or their owners or wanted to run back and tell them, wanted to go back because they were so blindsided and didn't know what it meant to be free, then want to concept didn't want to accept the concept of being free, she killed their ass. Yes, Harriet Tubman killed black people. Was she justified in doing it? You be the judge. Free slavery. Is there anything to think about? Nat Turner, warrior. There is no total number how many whites he killed before he was betrayed by someone black. And they caught him and hung him. Marcus Garvey, who laid out the plan to return back to Africa. Though most Africans feel we have.
There was a lot of talk about critical race theory, and that was a focus.
Most Africans feel like we had lost our way, being that we was in this country, but it's sad that they were probably right. Man, listen, I'm hurt and disappointed with Ron DeSantis. His latest move is a major move. It's a major slap in the face, a major spitting in the face for African Americans here in Florida. And if you don't realize that, you are blind. You are blind beyond recognition. Because this man has proven to us, African Americans, time and time again, what he's about. Oh, he love your ass doing campaigning. He love you. But then what he does, he slap you in your face and he kick you in your throat when you're down to tell you that he don't give a fuck about you. He got what he wants. He's back in office. He's back in control of the state of Florida. Him and all his henchmen and comrades. It's sad, but it's true. So I hope that you guys understand this podcast. A lot of you probably want to listen to it because of the real reason it has been shown, or I'm bringing it to you. I hope you guys understand that I do this because I love my black people. I do this because I want to see us shine. I want to see us elevate. But we can't elevate as we slipping on doing the one thing that our ancestors fought so hard for us to be allowed to do, and that's vote. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys, or those who stopped in and watched this podcast. I really appreciate it. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to Charles Real Talk Podcast on YouTube, as well as on iHeartRadio. You can subscribe to my radio podcast as well. If you like this podcast, if you like this episode, please smash that like button and let me know how much you appreciate this episode that I brought to you this evening. And by all means, leave all your comments down below. I do answer all comments that are left down below. And I hope that you guys will continue to support this podcast and help build this podcast up. I have one, before I get out of here, I have one chat message that I want to read to you guys. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen or not. I'll open it up. It's from Ms. Glover. She said, I feel that they don't want to teach about African American history because they don't want the truth to come out. Who is the real Americans that built the country and keeping it going? Preach, sister. Oh my God, preach, girl. You said a mouthful that's then. You said a mouthful. That is, girl, you just filled me up with that comment. Yes, you just filled me up with that comment. And you're right. You're absolutely positively right. They don't want that shit. That's why they don't want to teach it, because they don't want you to know who developed the cotton gin for their ass. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know who performed the first open heart surgery. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know who originally built the first car. They don't want you to know that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know who created peanut butter. They don't want you to know that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know who created the washing machine. They don't want you to know that. Who created the AC system? They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. So you said a mouthful, sister, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for speaking that comment there. That is so fucking powerful. I appreciate it. So I'm finna jump out this thing, man. I'm finna get up out of here, man. I really appreciate you guys. Those who have came in once again and watched the podcast tonight, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Once again, I'm your man, Mr. Charles, man. This is Charles Real Talk Podcast. When we keep it real, we keep it raw, we keep it authentic, no fake shit here. If that's what you're looking for, watch Jerry Springer. You don't get that here. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. I will answer all comments that you leave down there, good, bad, or ugly. I don't care. I want to hear from everybody. Black, white, it doesn't matter what your race, creed, or color is. You're welcome to leave your comments down below. Guys, join me again in a couple of nights when we're going to have another explosive topic to talk about here on Charles Real Talk Podcast. This has been a joyful and wonderful time I've shared with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. So until next time, man, I hope you guys stay safe. And I bid you nothing but peace. Good night.